know if you're familiar with some of these young up-and-coming atheists like Alex O'Connor, a.k.a. Comic Skeptic, and Stephen Woodford, a.k.a. Rationally Rules, but they are absolutely rocking it when it comes to anti-apologetics. They're clear thinkers, well-read, and articulate as fudge. I'm trying to keep this one monetized. Last week, this video popped up in my feed titled Atheist Apologist Rattled by Simple Question. What was the question? Is rape wrong, objectively, past, present, and future, yes or no? Now, as far as I can tell, neither Alex, the atheist apologist in this video, nor I believe in this thing that believers like to call objective morality. I'm not exactly sure what Alex's reasoning is, but I can tell you that my reasoning is very simple. We have no objective way to determine what is objectively right and wrong. If you think we do, then it's your burden to demonstrate that objectively, the way I can objectively demonstrate the force of gravity. If you can do that, I'm totally on board. But until then, I honestly just can't get there as much as I'd like to. Let's take a look at the video featuring Alex O'Connor, the Comic Skeptic.
It is objectively true that to allow people to rape morally would not be an achievement of the goal that we all share.
That's not the question I asked.
That's the objectivity in it.
Yeah, but you're answering a question.
What you want me to do... Wait
1 second. You're answering a question I didn't ask. I asked a very clear question, which everybody, I think, understood here, right? I asked, is rape wrong? Is that objectively true? And you're beating around the bush.
But the reason why I have to beat around the bush is because I have to clarify that, remember how I said that a base principle can be subjective, but you can have objective derivatives from it?
Right.
So in terms of the objective derivative from our nature, yes, it is objectively wrong. Yes, is the answer to your question.
Based upon the subjective...
But you're going to want to turn around then and say, but it's based upon a subjective principle.
Yes.
Yes, it is, right?
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that I can say rape is not objectively wrong.
I suspect that Alex previously established that questions of right and wrong require some kind of definition in regard to a desired or agreed upon goal. In other words, so long as we establish and agree that the well-being of sentient creatures, for instance, is defined as right or good, with the opposite defined as wrong or bad, we can say objectively, based on said subjective agreement, that rape is bad or wrong.
If we agree on this subjective moral principle, which we do, then we can make the objective derivative that rape is wrong.
Would a rapist agree to that? Of course they wouldn't.
It's important to note here that even for things which can be objectively established, like the force of gravity or the spherical nature of our planet, there are people who can and will disagree. A complete lack of disagreement is not the mark of objectivity. People can be irrational astrologers. Yep, the stars and the planets, and I've seen it myself.
No, they wouldn't. But again, whether or not someone agrees with me is irrelevant to whether it's correct
But look,
or not.
Alex,
this is another jump you keep making.
Alex, what you're doing is you're building a house on a sandcastle, yeah? If you ask me the question, I would say rape is wrong. Yes, it's wrong objectively.
Yeah.
And that same rapist who disagreed with Alex would disagree again with this guy's assertion that rape is wrong. So, checkmate? Alex has a reasoned answer as to why he'd say rape is objectively wrong, admittedly based on a subjectively agreed upon goal. This guy, who I'm sure is religious, can only say that rape is wrong because he believes God says so. To which the rapist and I can say, I don't believe your God says so. That's double checkmate if you're keeping score. This guy has to prove that his God said so, objectively. If he can't objectively prove his God said so, then he has no objective basis for saying that rape is wrong either. But it's actually a little worse than that, because religious folks can't actually say that God said rape is wrong, past, present, and future. On the contrary, God allows rape. When God ordered genocide, which according to our religious friend in this video could not be called objectively wrong because God ordered it, he allowed the young girls who had not known a man to be captured instead of killed. They were then given a 30-day waiting period in which to mourn, and then they could be raped, with the caveat that the rapist had to marry the rapee.
That went south so fast!
So the most our religious friends could say, even with God in the mix, is that rape is wrong so long as the woman has not had time to mourn the family her future rapist has murdered, and without the willingness of said future rapist to marry the woman about to be raped. Of course, there are more questions for our religious friends, this guy in particular, who appears to be a Muslim. Killing a homosexual, objectively wrong, past, present, and future, yes or no? Killing a non-virgin girl, objectively wrong, past, present, and future, yes or no? Killing someone who's left the faith, objectively wrong, past, present, and future, yes or no? If our friend's morality is based on those supposed declarations from the tribal war god of Abraham, then his answer must be no. Those things are not objectively wrong, past, present, and future. ISIL was simply doing God's work in Iraq, Syria, and elsewhere. Unfortunately, as far as I can tell, right and wrong do not exist in the realm of the objective. Such questions are contingent and provisional, requiring definitions which can only be arrived at subjectively, and which remain forever open to revision. Thank Hitch. Of course, I could be objectively wrong on all of that, making me a total friend of yours. Yep, we are buddies. Once again, I'm me. Thanks for watching.